Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, this is Dr. Arun Bhatia from IIMT College of Management. Today, I am going to talk a bit about the fifth dimension of the marketing mix, which happens to be positioning strategy. Now, in the books until date, the curriculum has been restricted to only four P's of marketing, and to a max, we teach about we tell the students, we tell the audience, that there are eight P's, but to your amazing surprise, there are 55 P's which have been discovered, and every second day a new P has is being getting added onto the list of the marketing mix. So today I have actually chosen, to talk about the positioning mix of the marketing. Now, whatever activities which happens in the marketing domain, uh, whether it is advertising, whether it is selling, or whether it is promotion, or getting a new product in line, opening up a new place, and advertising, and all those things. All these activities they fail, once when they fail, when they are not able to hit the minds of the customers. So positioning is the art of getting the product, the getting the the service, or getting your services in the mindsets of the consumers, the people who are going to actually use it. So positioning basically, it helps an organization, it helps a company, to place their name, their brand, their product, their service on top of the list in the minds of the customers, so that whenever a customer thinks about procuring those products, or consuming those services, the first name comes in his mind. For example, whenever we want to purchase, whenever we think about purchasing a mobile phone, so the first name that comes to my mind could be Apple, it could be Samsung, it could be Vivo, it could be Redmi, uh, it could be Motorola. But all these names, how did these names, I'm able to recollect, or I'm able to remember, is through through the organizations who might have placed certain advertisements, promotions, continuous promotions, and some place, sometime, from some people, I might have heard about the brand, about the product, about the company name, and I want to experience it. So my first visit would be, to the Apple store, and I would like to have an hands-on experience, and maybe it's the first time that I'm going in to purchase an Apple iPhone. So I land up in the store, and I start inquiring about the product, and the salesperson or the sales lady, and she tries to show the product and try to explain me the features. Now, I might have heard about Apple. Apple, I might have seen stories about Apple. People might have spoken very great things about Apple, and that actually induced me into going into the store, and maybe because Apple, they say, I mean, it's a product of status. It shows the status. So I have a purchasing power, and I can afford to buy the Apple phone. So I make a visit to the store, and salesperson or sales lady explains me, they shows me the product, explains me the features. Now, while all these things are going on, and I might be little pleased, thinking that I'm going to purchase this product, but something like, I mean, the color doesn't appeal me, okay, and maybe the handset by itself, is not appealing. So all that activity, which Apple might have done in creating that brand promotion and positioning their product in my mind as number one, might just fail because of the color, because of the product quality, because of the handset, which does not sound to me to be more appealing. So I'll just take a view, and just go and make a visit to some other place, to some other store with some other brand, with some other product, I just need a mobile phone. So I'll try and locate, the next name which was there in my mind. So I've seen my friends using Vivo phone and have it's a smartphone, and it has a great capacity. I mean, it's lightweight, and it has lots many features. Yeah, going back to the Apple story again, I might have heard something bad about Apple, that certain applications they don't actually run, but still I just wanted to have a check on it. So that made me a visit to the store, and but somehow, I mean, the color, the size, the product, the quality, it was not appealing, so I dropped the idea, and now I'm on to the next store, and I try and go and locate the Vivo phone and the at the location, because I've also heard about the Vivo phone. It's very user friendly, and it's a smartphone with lot many features, and supports many of the apps. So uh, second name which came to my mind was Vivo phone. So I just happened to go and make a visit over there, and the same process. I'm explained about the features, I'm explained about the product, and they have whole sorts of colors and wallpapers and many things which come as a bundle, value addition services along with Vivo, and the price is also fitting. I mean, it's not that very costly. I don't have to pay that much, shell that much of amount, and so many things, the after sale service and the store quality, everything was appealing, so I make a purchase. So what I'm trying to say is that all the marketing activities, whether it's all the P's we talk about in the marketing area, that is the product, place, price, and promotion, they all fail if they are not able to create their mark in the mindset of the customers. Of course, I mean, the customers, like in my case, in my instance, I mean, I heard about Apple. It was my first experience. I mean, people had endorsed about this product, and I heard all sorts of bad things and good things about the product. But I still wanted to go and make a purchase, because I had that purchasing power. I had the money in my hand, so I could afford to buy an Apple product. But going back to the store, and finding out that the color is not appealing, the quality of the handset is not appealing, so that really pushed negative in my mind. So I went on to purchase a new the second product in line. So in a better way, what I'm trying to say is that positioning, and positioning of a product, of a service, uh, about the delivery, about a place, it does not happen overnight. It does not happen today. It does not happen tomorrow. It takes years and years of exercise. Whether we talk about the people, the processes which are involved in creating the product, the processes which are involved in getting the product to the customer, all these things, they fail once the promises that are made to the customers, they are not kept alive, and they are not positive, and the customers feel a little dissatisfied after making a purchase. So that positioning would actually fail. Now many people, whenever I talk about, how about going about positioning yourself. Let's take another example. How do I know that there's a certain company in the market who's looking out for a candidate where my profile actually fits it? I'll be including all the aspects of marketing over here, trying to include all the aspects of marketing, and slowly get it connected with the position strategy. So how does this company know, that there is, or how do I know that there is a company in the market who's looking out, for a candidate like me, with my kind of a profile? This won't be possible until unless the company, promotes it, advertises in the newspaper, and I happen to see that advertisement, and I start applying, and I apply to the organization. Now it's not only me who's applying. There would be scores and hundreds and thousands of people who would be applying for that particular job, which could be, there could be a vacancy for only one, but there could be 1,000 applications. And out of those 1,000 applications, the company is scrutinizing, which all candidates are fitting in. Sometimes they call, all the candidates, and then they try and assess, which candidates really fits the profile. by and large, the selection, the process happens, when the application starts scrutinizing, and the right kind of candidate is, called in to give an interview. Now, this is where your marketing actually starts. So the company has marketed itself in a way by means of advertising about a vacancy in their organization on a particular date. So I respond to it, I apply to it. Uh, the company has done its bit. Now I am doing my bit. I have started advertising. I have started, throwing my applications to all such kinds of, vacancies which came out on that particular day. So I started marketing all my CV to all the organizations, and sometime with some organization, my CV was placed on top of the list with some XYZ company. So that process where my application got shortlisted and is placed on top of the list, that is the positioning part of the marketing aspect. That is where, that the company would like to meet me first. So of all the 1,000 applications that they may have scrutinized, they want to meet me first. So I actually created that positioning. I played that positioning part of my marketing area. So after positioning, of course, my CV was very, it was a, a very feel, good kind of a CV, and the kind of things that I put in the way it was presented in the CV, maybe the employer got, enchanted, and he wanted to meet me first. He wanted to see me now first in person. So when he calls me and I go and sit for the interview, now my selling starts. Now, I just want to, why I took this topic was because there is a confusion that selling is marketing. No, selling is a part of marketing. Marketing comes first. Over here, in this particular example, I wouldn't have been selling myself until unless I would have actually marketed my CV. Okay, so once I market my CV, then the selling aspect comes. Now, once my CV gets shortlisted, once I'm called for an interview, then I'm into the selling aspect. Then I'm trying to sell myself to the employer, where I'm trying to show, what all good things are there about me and how I could be beneficial to the organization. What are my expectations, and where I would like to see, 5 years down the line with that particular organization, and so forth and so on. The kind of queries that are, put in across to me from the employer's end. So once the selling process ends, once the employer is confirmed, he is satisfied, with the kind of questions, the kind of answers that I had put in, against his questions. Once he is satisfied, and of course, then I'm given a, green signal that very soon I'll be receiving some appointment letter or some, some confirmation in from the HR end. So the selling ends over here. That means I have been able to market myself well, and I have done my positioning part very well. I have sold myself very well. So all aspects of the marketing actually was taken care of over here. Vis-a-vis another instance where the our my CV reflected everything good about me. The employer, he kept my CV on top of the list, but at the time of interview, at the time of selling, I was not able to sell myself. So my CV, my reflection, whatever I reflected on the CV, in words, actually failed. So that positioning, actually this activity actually failed. Even though the selling failed because the positioning failed. Why? Because the selling failed. I was not able to convince the customer, the employer. So all these things are intermingled. Now, what I'm trying to say is that all aspects, whether it is a place, you could position a place, you could position, a product by place, you could position a product by price, you could position a product or a service, by its complexity, you could position a product or a service by its simplicity, you could position a product or a service by its affordability. There are so many ways, and there are so many, tangents where you could position yourself. For instance, I mean, whenever you want want to go, travel by a bus, we always think about traveling by Volvo. Why? Because Volvo has positioned itself in terms of safety. Why? Of course, when I want to make a purchase, why always I wish that I wish I had a Parker in my pocket. Why? Because Parker is positioned as a status symbol. So there are different ways a product or a service can be positioned, and positioned well. Positioning does not mean that you keep on advertising, you keep on hammering, hammering with the advertisements, you keep on hammering with the promotions. It is the complete customer satisfaction, because the customer may not have tested your product or service for once, but after testing your product or service, if that exercise leads to satisfaction, then you have actually succeeded in positioning your product or service well. Otherwise, all these activities, all the emoluments, all the money involved, which went in convincing a customer to come to your doorstep, would actually fail them. So there are different ways. I could give personal, examples how you can position, or how we try to position ourselves. On a personal aspect, because many of the listeners may not be, maybe just be studying in colleges, they may not have some practical experience, but in a lifetime, we always move around, in a circle of friends. So let's say somebody who wishes to have a friendship with a girl. So how does he position himself in front of that girl? So he will of course talk very nicely. He will be very gentle. He will dress up very well, and things might be very hickory and that which really pleases the opposite, the girl. And she gets carried away, and they end up into a kind of a friendship. 2 or 3 years down the line, till the time that they are studying, the girl and the boy, they all come to know, they come to know so many things about the other person, that maybe by the time their studies end up, their relationship also ends. On the contrary, if things go well, and the way the boy or the way the girl might have show cost herself or himself in front of the other, that might lead to maybe a positive relationship, and maybe they could look forward, in getting living a life together. So we all try, because what all activities, whether it is personal or professional, we always try, that we position ourselves, as number one in the minds of the target audience, in the minds of a customer, in the minds of the consumers. Okay. I could ask few questions from my audiences. What names comes first to your mind whenever you want to make a purchase for an ice cream? What name comes to your comes first in your mind when you want to make a purchase for a car? Which name comes first in your mind, when you want to purchase an air conditioner or a table or a chair, or maybe a bed, or maybe some decorative pieces, or maybe some kind of a item food, anything which strikes your mind that you may have experienced in the past, or something that you would like to experience for the first time. Now, for the first time, of course, the first time of experiences, you must have heard some good stories, about a particular organization, or about their services or products that they are dealing into, or maybe the food items that they are selling, the dishes that they are serving. Something that you must have heard something good about it. You would like to experience it yourself. Now, your experience and the other person's experience might differ, okay, because his or her taste might be different than yours. But you would have heard something good about that particular organization or the product or service. Okay, so you give it a try, and you think that the try was not very expensive and you could afford it. Perhaps that experience might lead to your satisfaction or dissatisfaction. So in marketing, there is a theory called IDAS. Of course, I mean that is not part of this session. So, and of course, all the activities, your positioning or the way that you would like to promote your product or you would like to sell to your customers, they all fail until unless the customers are satisfied. And the customers, of course, would like to give it a try for your to your organization or your product. Once they have heard about it, and that hearing comes through advertising. So no matter which industry an organization belongs, whichever field of business, line of business they are into, they have to advertise. Bata for many years, they were not advertising. Bata was known for school going, shoes for kids. Okay, but now you see the change in trend in Batas. Now Bata advertises. Every organization has to advertise. So if the business is doing well, it pays to advertise. If the business is not doing well, you have to advertise. So without advertising, without promotion, positioning cannot be achieved. Okay, so and positioning also depends upon the experiences that the customer has in the past and the experiences that you would like to have in the future. Okay, for all that to happen, the company needs to make it, customer satisfaction. The customer satisfaction has to be, as a top priority. So whichever car that you would like to purchase, whether it is Maruti or Hyundai or Kia Motors or some other XYZ brand that you could think about, you would like to give it a try. Now, the people who would have actually tried those vehicles, the stories that you might have heard, that name again moves up in your letter in the mind. Okay, so the first time and the next time that you would like to go in for a purchase, you would like to give it a try. You would like to go to the outlet, and try and explore the all the good and bad things about the product or the service that you must have heard about. So I hope that I was able to justify what positioning is all about. There are other P's that which we can talk about, the physical evidence, that there is packaging, there is a people, there is a process, and there are so many other P's which are adding, which every day, almost every day, gets piled up in the list of in the bucket of the P's in marketing. And marketing, as we all know, I mean, it is having the right product at the right place at the right time, with the right kind of communication and promotion, and all these things happens. It's an ongoing process, and positioning does not happen, over a period of just over the night, maybe the next day. It's a process. It's a continuous process. Companies, they spend crores and crores of rupees in advertising, in promoting, in positioning their place in the mindsets of the customers. Now, once they are successful in positioning their name, their product, the service in the mindset of the customer, now comes a part of the marketing, the organization, that is to keep their customer satisfied. So whatever promises that they may have given, that they may think that the customer needs to have, all those promises have to be kept. Otherwise, all the entire exercise of spending those crores and crores of rupees would just go down the drain, and everything will be lost. And the customer, I mean, today the market, there is no monopolistic market. The customer has a choice. He always has a choice. He always has a competitor in his mind. He can always return to the competitor. Now it is the time of the competitor to keep the customer satisfied. Now, if he is not keeping his customer satisfied, then he moves on to the third competitor. So that's a vicious circle. The market is full of products. The market is full of services offering a similar kind of experiences or maybe a different types, and the customer really has a choice. He has plenty of choices, to purchase, to procure those products and services. So I hope that I was able to provide a beautiful insight about what positioning is about and how positioning can be done. Positioning, you could position by variety of ways, by convenience, by simplicity, by affordability, by place, by the color, by the features, so many things, so many features, so many ways that a particular product or service can be positioned. So thank you very much. This is Dr. Bhatia again. I'm from IIMT College of Management. Nice to be with you all, and God bless you.